We'll now call the licensing hearing, licensing board to motion, to order, sorry. First issue of the day is the approval of the minutes of May 15th. Is there a motion on the table for that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. I'm going to take the agenda out of order due to a family emergency. Our third commissioner is unable to make today's meeting. And in fairness to both sides on the issue of the 2 a.m. licensing issue, we've decided to postpone this. We'll make it a special meeting in the next 2 to 3 weeks so that both sides... So the issue is that we want to make sure that all sides are heard, and we want to give our commissioner an opportunity to hear both sides of the argument. So for today, we're going to table it. I would request that Mr. Goretti?
The Business Association asked for a...
Revere Business Association asked for a what? A public hearing, and we'll post it in the newspaper, and we'll hear it with all three commissioners here. Thank you. Yes. Correct. It's being postponed. I do not. At this point in time, I'd like to have them come back with a request. We'll make it a special hearing. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll post it in the newspaper. I just think on an issue this important that we should have all commissioners here and everybody should be heard and have the opportunity to make that decision. Could you actually step up to the microphone? Thank you. Just please state your name for the record.
Please put your mic on, Counselor.
I've worked this thing before.
Can I just ask a question at this point? From the papers that we've received, it was just asking us if we would give them the opportunity for hearing.
I see.
So that's what today is about. And are you representing them? Because we've seen nothing with your name on it.
Right. I've represented them in the past. I've represented them in court, and I represent the association.
Well, here we have Vincent Giacchetti.
Mr. Giacchetti is the president of the association.
Oh, okay. Great. But we've had no communication from you. And as you know...
I try to work stealth-like.
You can ask for a public hearing, and whether we grant it or not, you can ask for it this evening. Okay. Then you know it has to go through the procedure of being advertised for 2 weeks.
Well, I believe Mr. Giacchetti has made the request for a hearing. So is that going to be taken up today?
Yes. Whether we grant the hearing or not?
Okay.
Yes. We can take that up today.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you want to hear from us or anybody as to whether we should have a hearing?
I'm happy to hear your argument on that. I think in fairness to everybody here on both sides of the argument and our commissioner who's missing, I think it's an important issue, and I don't think it should be left to two commissioners, and therefore I would table it. I would make a motion to table it.
So even as to the issue of whether there'll be a hearing, you won't take any action on that?
We'll make a motion today to approve his request.
Okay. So then I don't really need to begin speaking or making a pitch. The two commissioners I'm standing in front of have already determined that a hearing will be granted sometime in the future.
We'll vote on that right now.
We'll respectfully request that we get notice of the hearing and any evidentiary or submittals that you'd like in advance. If you can give me a date and a time to provide that information to the commission.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll make a motion to grant a hearing on the issue of the 2 a.m. licensing.
I'll second the motion.
It's approved. Thank you.
And you will be notified when the hearing will be coming up. It does have to be advertised for 2 weeks, and then you will be notified.
That's fine. Great, thank you. First item on the table is Cafeteria La Delicias Colombianas. That's actually going to be continued to the next meeting based on some additional information that's going to be needed from inspectional services.
I'll make a motion to approve the continuance.
I'll second that. Fire Department?
Disapprove here.
Item number 2 is Sayer Food Market. Hi, please state your name for the record, please. Great. Now, our understanding is you're applying for a common victualer's license? Okay. Our understanding is that you're still waiting for the fire department to re-inspect? Okay.
Can you put your mic on, please? Can you turn your mic on, please?
Microphone.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Who's on vacation?
So, is my understanding the fire inspector's on vacation?
Yes, it's vacation. We tried to call him last week.
Please turn your mic on.
There's a button on there.
Oh,
There you go.
it's on. Okay.
That's good.
We tried to call him last week, and the contractor guys they didn't got a phone call back from them, and they go back down to the department, and they're looking for him. He was outside, and then this morning they find him is vacation. He can come back till Monday, next Monday.
Great. Can you tell me what you're planning to do?
What I'm planning to do is the grocery store.
Excuse me one second. Excuse me, could you close that door, please? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
What I'm trying to do is a grocery store, is an international food market, and have like a butcher area, sell meats and stuff. Plus, we have a grill, like sandwiches and stuff. We'll try to do the coffee table for.
Okay. And what do you plan to do in terms of hours?
From 8 to 10, 7 days.
I don't have any other questions.
Has this been previously licensed? Or is this a brand new?
This is no.
Okay.
It is, okay.
What experience have you had in the business? Have you ever had another business?
I've been working before in the grocery store in business like this, so that's why my idea to have my own store, have this business. So then we have my own people. They do the butchermans and the people who work in this, especially have experience with this too.
Please.
How,
It's unfortunate we don't have an approval from the fire department, but are you saying your work is all done? It's the fire department that's...
Exactly, yes.
But you've passed everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we stay waiting for the fire department. So
Did you
probably
try
next-
to get in touch with the chief? Because I know the chief has gone and inspected while Mr. Maniff is on vacation.
Yeah, I'm not the one who tried to contact them, but the contractor guys, the company for the contractor, is tried to contact them, and then they say you have to wait until next Monday.
so, okay.
Um,
Have any questions? I'm good. And how many hours do you expect to spend at this establishment? A week?
Myself or
Yeah, for yourself.
open?
Yep, for yourself.
8 hours.
8 hours a day?
Yeah.
8 hours.
Wow.
How many hours are you open?
8 hours, 5 days.
So would you have a manager in the evenings or whenever you're off?
Oh, well, yeah, well, I can do the stuff at the same time. I'm going to hire the manager who can help too for this stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Because you're open 12 hours a day for what you're requesting. Would be 12 hours. You're going to be there 8 hours.
8 hours, yeah.
And someone else is going to take over, manager?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, we can't vote on it if the commissioner wants to, or contingent.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve this pending acceptance by the fire department and that all other inspectional services have signed off on it. So as long as, you're not going to be able to open until you get that sign off, but once you do, we'll make it contingent upon that.
Sure.
Okay?
How long do you think? Till next week?
I would suggest that you call the chief and see if you can make arrangements to get him out there sooner.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
I'll make a motion to approve based, contingent upon the approval by the fire department.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you
Your
very much.
license has been approved. Thank you. Number 3 is the Immaculate Conception Church. Could you please state your name for the record, please?
My name is Father Daniel. I am the vicar of the Immaculate Conception Parish, and we're celebrating 125 years. And we're going to have a special event on Saturday 29th. And we would like to offer some parishioners also a good glass of wine to celebrate also. That's it.
Congratulations, 129 years. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 125, I'm sorry. 125.
Still
On June 29th.
Still a great milestone.
Still-
Yeah, it is.
That's great. I have no questions.
I don't either. And I'll make a motion to approve that.
All
I'll
right.
second the motion.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Item number 4 is the Sons of Revere LLC. My apologies. Doing business as the Sons of Revere. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Could you please state your name for the record, please?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Karen Simeo, McDermott, Quilty, and Miller. With me, Mr. David Lightbody, the sole LLC manager, LLC member, and proposed manager of record.
Great. And could you, I know we've looked at this application. Could you explain to us what the future plans are at the establishment?
Certainly. By way of background, I understand that the Commission previously approved a transfer of the club license that was previously exercised there. I also understand that at that time, respectfully, Mr. Lightbody wasn't represented by counsel. And had he been, I think some of the logistics that accompany and the corporate requirements that accompany a club license would have become obvious to him that that wasn't the correct application to file. So that application was, again, withdrawn. And this application before you is now for a new general on-premise license. There is no remarkable change in concept here. Mr. Lightbody wants to come into this space, continue to operate it as it has operated for years for the neighborhood. It will be open to the public to honor the history of the space. He will have a section reserved for folks that were members of the prior establishment. But there's no significant renovations occurring here. There's nothing of that nature. This is really a matter of bringing the paperwork and the licensure in line with how it should have initially been presented to both this board and to the ABCC. And so it really marks the change of the private club license to a general on-premise open to the public license.
Do you plan to serve any food, or is it just strictly liquor at this point?
There are 3 applications related to this one. There is an application for a CV license. We do contemplate breakfast, barbecue, lunch, those kinds of offerings at the premises. There is also an ancillary entertainment application filed. Again, no significant change. We're talking about jukebox, televisions, cable, that kind of thing.
Now, I know in the past that you've talked about most of the activities on the inside, but in the past you've applied for an outdoor license. Now, as I see the application today, it doesn't. You're not asking for an outdoor license.
The application does reflect 15 seats on the outdoor patio. So from the occupancy perspective, in the interior, it's a total of 102, 87 indoor, 15 outdoor.
Could you?
I can get you a.
They need to apply for outdoor seating. That would be separate.
My office did it. I'll forward the board a copy. My office did it.
Secretary right here, if you forwarded, she should have received it.
Our office put it together, and Mr. Lightbody walked it in. So,
Well, Leon, I have to go by what is here on the agenda. And again, on the agenda, it has not been advertised with any outdoor seating. And I believe at the last meeting, at least myself, I'm very concerned about any outdoor seating because it abuts residential, highly residential there. But on this here, what's on this agenda does not have that on here, any outdoor seating. And if I remember when you were here before, we recognized that and you said you would be applying at another time.
That's correct.
You haven't.
Well, since we didn't do an alteration of premise, now there's a new
Please
license.
talk into the mic so that,
We weren't doing an alteration of premise now. We're applying for a new license under a new seating capacity.
okay, so this is what we're addressing right now. We're not addressing anything else. And the other thing too is I'm not one that has been in favor of a pouring establishment. So with this, I would want to see a common victual license because a pouring bar, you know, we've really done away with them in the last 10, 15 years. So we do want to see some kind of food served there. But
I'm sorry, Commissioner, I'm confused by the statement. There is an application, the Revere application for a common victular license.
on
So there
here.
is food as part of the,
on this, when you filled out your application says
it's a certain category called general on-premise.
Right.
That's correct.
all alcohol. Okay, well, I would not go for a pouring bar anyway, so common victual would have to be in with this. And that is on the agenda, common victual license.
So could you give me a little background on you haven't changed the establishment at all, but you're changing the seating capacity. So how do
I
you,
believe that what we're doing is legalizing. My understanding from the history here is that there were previously these 15 seats in an outdoor patio, and we were not the prior operator, nor did we represent the prior operator. So as part of this application, again, to correct the record and make sure that everything is in compliance, there were 15 outdoor seats contemplated with an hour of operation that ended at 7 p.m. We were not seeking for the patio to extend beyond a 7 p.m. closing hour, just to be really clear about the limited nature of those outdoor seats.
Okay, but I still don't see it on any application we have here, nor do I see it on the agenda. This clearly states premises liquor only, from what you filled out. Then on our agenda says common victual license and liquor license.
do you have a copy of the application, Council?
I have my package of the application.
And that states you put in for patio?
I will tell you in 1 second. If you look at, there are two pieces of that. If you look at what should have been tab 1 in your packet, which contains the ABCC application form, it references seating capacity, and it specifies 102 and then delineates 87 indoor, 15 outdoor. And then I would reference the commissioners to tab number 10, which is the floor plan, which under the state statute has to also include that outdoor patio, and that did as well. Which records? I just want to be clear. This is the package.
we always have a separate license for outdoor seating. It's separate hours, separate seating. We vote on that individually from the liquor license and your common victual license. When this was before us before, there were people, we advertised it, there were people in the area that did come up opposed. I think you remember that. So for me to vote on something that wasn't advertised is not on my agenda.
Madam Commissioner, are you suggesting that there's a Revere form for an outdoor seating?
Well, we have different outdoor seatings in the city.
Well, is there a separate application? Because if it wasn't advertised properly and there's not a separate application.
Well, I think one of the things to get on our application, when you fill this out, you would put outdoor seating also.
Which application is that?
And when you represent, right, other. And when you were here before, I think we explained that, and who represented you last time said, we will put in a separate application asking for just outdoor seating.
And we can do that. There's no, I mean, we can, if
Okay.
the board needs to vote on this and you want to have a separate
Take that
hearing
up
on the outdoor seating and advertise it, because it wasn't in the advertisement, clearly that's at the commission's discretion. But I do want the record to note that it was in the application materials that we submitted. And if there is a separate application for outdoor seating, we're happy to fill that out, have it advertised, and we'll come back understanding that you want community input on that.
So my other question, now I'm a little confused. My other question is the occupancy. Was the occupancy including that area without the patio? Do you know that?
That is
Was
your
that
question?
Inclusive?
Which included the 15 outdoor.
So that would be inclusive of that patio that you...
The 102 was identified there as
I think
15
your
outdoor.
occupancy would be inside the building. We need separate inside the building and outside the building. In the winter, obviously, you're going to have functions or whatever you do inside the building. It would not have to, the fire department would say you're overcrowded if you add that 15 into the building.
There's no question. That's why we delineate
Okay.
indoor and outdoor seating on
Okay, so
the
we
application
need that
as well.
separate also. We can't put it all together and say, that's your occupancy. It's really not your indoor occupancy.
We understand
You're
that.
putting inclusive all.
We
which
did
can't
not.
do.
We separated. We gave a total number, and then we separated indoor seats and outdoor seats, understanding that they're two different items, but also understanding that the total of 102 people use the same restrooms. And from the fire perspective, they want to know a total number, an indoor number, and an outdoor number. And that's why we wanted to be very upfront and transparent on those numbers.
Okay, and that's what we need. We need to be sure we know what numbers we're talking about. When you run a time in the winter, that 15 is not inclusive.
Correct.
And that's why we keep separate file on both, okay? And like I say, we can only go by what's on the agenda today. And patio seating is not here. On this, certainly you can apply for it, there's no question about it, but it's not on the agenda today.
We'll just have to file.
Now,
Council, at this point in time, I'm inclined to table the outside seating just for now because it wasn't advertised the way it should have been.
Understood.
And we'll take up the matter of the indoor seating today.
Understood. And if I'm understanding what the commissioner has asked, she would like us to file a separate application for the outdoor seating that would then be advertised. So I understand that that's how the course will run, and we'll take care to make sure that that's filed for the 15 outdoor.
okay, thank you. I just have one other question. I see 7 days a week, 8 o'clock. Why the 8 o'clock opening? Are you serving in the morning?
Sure.
Or? I don't think you can.
No. The 8, just to be clear, again, this is the 8 a.m. is not for the alcohol service.
No,
The
yeah.
alcohol service starts at 11 a.m.
Right. So I'm asking.
So the 8 a.m. is breakfast, sandwiches, things like that, if anybody wants to come in and have them. But you can, I just wanted to address the
Yeah, no,
alcohol
that's,
piece.
that's exactly
So are
right.
you going to be serving breakfast 7 days a week? Is that,
Yes, that's the intent, that's the intention, yes. There's
okay,
going to be breakfast, coffee, stuff like that.
okay. So that's what your common victular is your breakfast? and-
Exactly.
As well as the lunch,
That-
barbecue.
That's basically what was there before.
Right,
The exact same application that I had last time.
okay. I have no other questions.
Based on the based on the information, I'll make a motion to approve the common victuals license, an alcohol license, and you would have to come back before this board for the outdoor seating.
And Mr. Commissioner, the entertainment license as well?
I'm sorry, and the entertainment license.
I'll second that motion.
Your license is approved. Good luck.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see.
Oh, I'm sorry, did someone want to speak on it?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Could we, are there any opponents that want to speak on behalf of the issue? I'm sorry, my apologies.
My name is Santa Nicosia.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Santa Nicosia. I live in right behind the Sun Valley, and I think the entertainment is a little too late to keep it open. 'Cause I live right next to it, and I don't want to hit the news until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Are you concerned about the indoor or the outdoor or both?
Well, what I hear right now, I hear a little bit both maybe. But for now, I'm interested in the entertainment and the alcoholic too.
Okay.
I think the
Could-
outdoor entertainment actually is a bit of a problem because the
Can you speak into the mic?
Yeah, please. Could you
the
say your
outdoor
name for the record, too?
entertainment. Nancy Nicosia, I'm Santa's daughter. I think the outside entertainment is a bit of an issue because the residences that surround that all have bedrooms facing that area, and there are older people living there. Having an outdoor license there, especially having people starting to come at 8 in the morning and the license goes on until 1 a.m. seems a bit much for a residential area. So I think that's my mom's concern, right?
Yes.
Counsel, would you address that issue?
May I just ask a question, please? Just a question. Is the hours 8 o'clock, is that what's bothering you, or is it the all-day hours? I mean, if they were like, they could open the patio, say they did apply, is it all day that concerns you, or is it hours? I mean, say they were to use a patio, after 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Until what time are you suggesting? Sorry.
Well, I don't know what they're
Well,
going to
that's why
apply.
I wanted the counsel to come up and address
I
that.
want to be clear. First of all, the outdoor application was not entertainment. It was just 15 seats. And I also want to make sure that the neighbors understand that the hours that were submitted for the outdoor seating, which is now going to be heard at a different time, but the application will be the same, were not to start until 11 a.m. and end at 7 p.m. So those outdoor seats were a very limited time that we made an application for. So I just want to be very clear.
Like TVs and music as well?
Outside on the patio, no. It's just those 15 seats, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
When you say what entertainment, TV and this and that,
Yes. The TV is inside,
Okay.
and the 8 a.m. is inside, and the 1 a.m. is inside. Outside is very limited. No TV, no music.
Is it soundproof or it isn't soundproof?
There's
The
no, it's the same. There's no change to the building. There's no construction.
I've never been, even though I live next door, I've never been inside, so I don't know anything about it. All I know is the wall
So
outside.
there's no change on the inside to what
But you still
you've
don't answer
been
my
living
question, though.
next to.
You're not answering my question.
Well, you're not answering mine. How long have you lived there?
I've been living 10 years.
Yeah, please.
Through the chairman, I would ask the questions, how long the neighbor has lived there,
I've been here 10 years.
and if there have been any issues filed with this commission in the past as it relates to sound issues. We are unaware of any, which is why I keep emphasizing that there's no additional volume, there's no additional entertainment being sought. It's background in nature.
So, ma'am, I have two questions for you. Is the problems, have you had any problems in the past with noise? Okay.
With the other people now.
So your concern is going forward?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the past, has any of the indoor activities affected your lifestyle?
No, No.
So you haven't had any issues with any noise or anything like that?
I haven't really.
Okay. Okay.
What concerns me now is what I hear right now.
Okay.
When I took to live there, this family illness over there and everything's over there.
I understand. I fully agree with you. I mean, having lived in this city all my life and lived next to places like that, I fully understand it. Okay. So when it comes to the outdoor seating, my understanding is that there's not going to be any entertainment. Okay, and they're only going to serve food from 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. I'm sorry? So outdoor is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that
will be only, excuse me, that will be only in the summertime, right? Yes.
I would hope so.
I don't think you want to have it with the snow.
Okay. So assuming that they're not going to do any entertainment on the outside and just serve food, are you comfortable with that?
For now, yes.
You are.
If something comes up, I don't know.
And you can always come back before this board and speak to that issue.
Right now, they can say whatever they want, and then later on, this can be changed too.
I understand.
Is your concern because it's a new owner, is this
Yes.
because of new owner?
Yes.
Well, the only thing I can tell you, he's been involved in it for quite a while, and basically what you've had, you're probably going to get. He also has another place in the city, Revere, and we've never had a problem. So, just to put your mind at ease.
So that's about concern.
We're sympathetic to it, and I would say to you that if there are any issues, I would please come before this board and bring those issues forth. I mean, at this point in time, I really don't hear anything that is problematic at the moment. I would say to you that if it becomes a problem, please come before us.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
If it is approved for outdoors from 11 to 7, if they decided to change it, would there be another hearing in terms of changing
Yes.
the hours? So it would
Yes,
be
there
a
would.
hearing that would be advertised as a change in hours regarding the outdoor? Because, last time we came and this time we came, the outdoor seating issue was raised both times, and neither time was it in the notice.
And that's why, and
Yeah.
we didn't vote on it.
So we're
Yes.
not voting on that today.
Okay.
So the next meeting, that issue will come up again, and if you want to speak or come to that meeting and be heard or hear what is said, I would recommend that you do that anyway. But
Okay, and then if it's approved for 11 to 7, if it ever is changed, that would also need to be approved as well?
Yes, I would have to
Okay.
come before this board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents that want to speak on this issue? Are there any proponents that want to speak on this issue? Okay. All right. Hearing none on proponents, I'll make that motion again. I'll make a motion to approve the license for the indoors only at this point in time.
I'll second the motion.
And the
That's gonna-
CV and the
license
entertainment as well, correct?
CV
Okay,
and
thank you.
entertainment liquor.
And just for the record, Commissioners, if I may, to the neighbors through you, I just want to be clear that we are going to be filing for what we've been discussing, which is the outdoor patio. There will be a notice that's going to be advertised, and I hope that notice, we don't generate the notices, but I hope the notice will clearly state what I have represented to you today and to the neighbors, which is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for that limited outdoor. So I just don't want the neighbors to be alarmed if they see a notice that it's for something different than we've discussed here today. It is all consistent with the same application.
Yeah, and clearly, we want everybody to be comfortable here and understand what's going to take place. So I don't hear anything today that leads me to believe that there's been any problems in the past, and I don't anticipate any problems in the future. But by the same token, like I said to you, I am sympathetic to your situation, been there myself, and we'll just make sure that everyone here is satisfied. All right? Thank you. Item number 5 is the Dairy Mart liquor. Could you please state your name for the record, please?
Dan Buckley, D'Ambrosio Brown, 14 Proctor Avenue. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. The application in front of the Commission this afternoon is a transfer application of all alcohol license from Five and Famous Brothers Enterprises to Dairy Mart License, Inc. To my left is the proposed transferee and the owner of Dairy Mart Liquor, Inc., Kevin Lang. He's also the proposed manager of the transferred license. If I may take a moment just to give an introduction to Mr. Lang, as he is the proposed transferee as well as the manager of record. Mr. Lang is a 45-year-old man, former resident of Revere, current resident of Saugus, who owns and operates the proposed transferee Dairy Mart. It is a small family company which he owns and plans to run the Dairy Mart at 160 Squire Road. As a proposed manager, I know the experience is important, and the Commission as well as the ABCC likes to look at that. Mr. Lang has owned and operated alcohol licenses for the past 15 years, both in Revere and Lynn. He has continuously operated at the highest level and has never had any issues in front of the ABCC. It's a one-floor, 2,840 square foot building. Currently sells all alcohol. There's no going to be any substantial changes in the interior, how it's laid out. And based on Mr. Lang's significant experience and the application in front of this commission, I request that the application to transfer be allowed.
Council, I have a couple of quick questions. In the past, the Dairy Mart has been a convenience store with an all alcohol license. Somewhere along the line, the establishment transitioned from a convenience store to almost an all liquor store. And the issues that I have is in the past, and I recognize, and let me say this up front, that I've heard good things since the transfer has taken place. So I'm happy to say that, because I think, in my mind, some of the problems that has happened there is, in my mind, has been problematic. For example, there has been seating in there. It's supposed to be a convenience store, a liquor store. There's been seating in there for Keno and other things, and there have been some disturbances in the past, some reported, some unreported, according to patrons. So I just want to be clear on what it is we're applying for. Are we to believe that it's going to be all liquor going forward, or is it going to be convenience store plus liquor?
It's going to be a convenience store plus liquor, but sorry about that. I think his experience speaks for himself, and the lack of being in front of boards, I think, speaks volumes. And it's Mr. Lang and this small family company coming in, plans to implement changes, so there are no issues. I know personally I have spoken with some abutters about Mr. Lang, and they've had nothing but good things to say about it and are actually pleased with the proposed transfer. I think really a reputation of a business and a business owner is evident in itself, and I would point to Mr. Lang's experience and reputation.
And I think we've seen that, almost immediately when he took over. My main concern is that in the past you've had all kinds of individuals hanging out in front all hours of the night. You go in there. I know in some cases, elderly people are intimidated. We're intimidated by going in there in the past. And I'm just trying to determine whether that seating is coming out, because currently, my understanding is when the license was approved, that there wasn't any seating allowed in that establishment for. I'm sorry. Right, and now you're applying for zero seating. So.
My understanding is they're requesting zero seating, as it's being operated and treated as a convenience store with an all alcohol.
So the last time I was in there was still seating. Has that been removed at this point in time?
I understand that the seating has
Okay.
been removed.
All right, excellent. All right.
Okay.
Okay, I guess my concern here is, you're saying it is going to be a convenience store. I did go in and look at it this week, and all I saw, as soon as I opened the door, was alcohol. I did not see anything else. And if it's a package store, it's 11 o'clock. If it's a convenience store, then you can have till 1 o'clock. To me, I didn't see anything to do with the convenience store when I went in there. When I went in there, and it probably 3-4 days ago, there was still a very large table with 12 seats around it. I counted. And I don't know if you've moved it within the last 4 days, but they were still there. People were still hanging out there. And I agree with my commissioner. It's been a great change. But the seating with the package store, it's, one or the other. You're going to have a convenience store, you're going to have a package store, and mixing all of this, you've got one aisle that has bread. When you walk in, you have, and I want to make it clear, this is a package store license. I don't want people to think this is an alcohol license. It's a package store. I don't see even you dividing that. So at 11 o'clock, if you close half of that store, which has to be at 11 o'clock, you really have to go up and down every aisle. That when we originally gave that license, the front was to be the Dairy Mart, where you come in and you bought your groceries or whatever you needed. And at night, that back part was closed off, that people could not go in that area. Now it's all mixed in.
I can tell you first that the transfer is still in process of the business, which is, I think, is one of the issues. And it's contingent upon the approval. So my understanding, pending approval, once it does, there are going to be these changes made to satisfy the neighborhood as well as the commission.
Well, the problem is, every other business has come for the package store, convenience. They've all separated it, and they do put a gate in between. So 11 o'clock is only a Dairy Mart. So, and I see the name change here is Dairy Mart Liquor. It was Dairy Mart because it was mostly a convenience store.
And that is the corporation of its DBA Dairy Mart. It still would be operated as the Dairy Mart.
Okay, it's not going to have the word liquor in it?
It's not Dairy Mart Liquor, no, that's correct. It's Dairy Mart.
So it's going to be Dairy Mart, okay. Yeah, I'm just.
I believe in the application it identifies Dairy Mart as the DBA.
Well, I got Dairy Mart Liquor, I don't know.
Well, that's the corporate name in the
DBA.
license. Is he going by Dairy Mart or Dairy Mart Liquor?
Dairy Mart Liquor is a corporation.
Okay.
But if the board
Yeah.
think that we can, it's a DBA.
Okay. That may be an error on that. I believe the DBA is Dairy Mart. Certainly.
I really would prefer not to have that.
And Mr. Lang, if that's an issue with the commission, that could certainly be DBA Dairy Mart.
And my other issue, the widescreen, I have no problem with widescreen TVs, but to shop and have widescreen TV, I don't know why that's necessary, because I am going to follow up on this table being taken out and these chairs that we'll put in. So, I don't have a problem with it. I suppose you're working there all day, gives you something to do.
And I think it's for customers alike, the news on the 24-hour news cycle. If people are in there, they see what's going on.
Okay, I think those were the only issues I had, zero seating, and obviously if it's approved, there will be some correction of mixing everything together and kind of separate the package store from the food. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think as a board, I think we're happy to see the changes that have taken place there. And I think that our questions are not driven by.
Excuse me, Commissioner.
So my questions aren't driven by making it difficult, for you to apply for a license. We just want to make sure that we don't experience some of the problems that we've had in the past. There is one outstanding item, and my understanding is when you're taking control of this business, are you also taking control of the building?
It is being purchased. The same owner, it will be a separate entity, which is pretty standard when a purchase of a business, if identified in the application. It's being purchased by the same person, just under a separate corporation.
So that transaction hasn't taken place yet?
All of it is contingent upon the approval of the alcohol license.
The one issue that we do have is currently the owners have an outstanding balance of over $6,000. You got a receipt.
My understanding, those were paid this afternoon.
Okay.
I do have my approach.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Looks good to me. Commissioner, would you like to weigh in? Or you just want to pass on this?
I'll pass them.
Thank you.
That's fine. I don't have any other questions.
I don't have any other questions. I mean, any plans, and I know you have to wait for this approval. Do we have any plans of sprucing up the outside of that building? I know it's been painted red now, and it seems like part of the building has been pushed in. I don't know what happened, maybe a car or something?
Someone kicked it.
I guess there was some vandalism there. I can tell you there are some plans, as the new owner, to make it a nicer storefront, make some changes that would, after the approval, that would the residents be happier.
That would be well appreciated. And just my other concern is the signage. The last owners that had it, it was just neon signs in every single window. It was.
My understanding that was taken out recently. I don't know.
It is out. I
Okay.
do see it.
All
I'm
right.
just wondering what the new owners' plans are as far as signage.
Signs on the window.
Same as it is now, which is that they've been taken out.
Okay, I would appreciate that.
And you mean the window?
The front window
Neon
facing
signs.
Squire Road.
Right. And the other issue, too, I have is, I believe you've changed that already, which I'm very happy about. You had the Keno television was turned out to the parking lot. People were sitting in the cars, playing Keno, running back in, going back to the car.
We have some problem with them, so we move it away.
Are you going to move it?
Yes.
I think it would be great for you. I think it'd be a big help for you because people can't get in there to park if they want to come in and buy something. You have people sitting in the cars.
Right.
And I think it's all to your benefit. And I'm very pleased with what I see so far. And I know you can only do so much till this is approved. But that's all I care about is the signage and that we clean it up a little bit.
Great. Is there a motion on the table?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. Julie?
Second the motion. Approve. I just actually have one quick, I'm sorry, Joe. One quick question. How long have you had ownership of the business? How long have you owned it?
It's being purchased by, this would be
Oh,
the
it's-
transferee. The purchase would be subject to the approval of this.
Okay, so,
Mr. Lang has been in there sprucing up, getting
Gotcha.
to know the customers, but it's still pending.
gotcha, thanks. That's it.
Great. Your license has been approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good luck.
Thank you, Commissioner.
What is this? No info.
I didn't have any information on that. They want us to extend the hours.
Okay. Item number 6 is beach variety. Is there anybody who can speak to that issue? Hearing and seeing none, I'll table that issue. Item number 7 is Bala's and Boss roast beef. Hi, could you please state your name for the record, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Ija Bala. I own the Bill and Bob's, was Bill and Bob's, if you're going to change the name, for 11 years. But now he said they're going to keep it in the family on other Bill and Bob's. Not going to let the name. I'm there every day. Going to be same thing. I've been there 11 and a half years, but just a name is a change.
So nothing changes at all? Same
Nothing,
employees, you're going to own it?
Same employees, me. I am there every day, 7 days a week.
Yep. Okay. I don't have any questions.
Have no questions?
No questions.
Is there a motion on the table?
I'll make a
Thank you.
motion to approve.
I'll second.
Approved.
Sorry. Revere Beach Partnership. Please state your name for the record, please.
My name is John Varingia, 84 Library Street, Revere. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of Revere Beach Partnership.
Great. And can you tell us what your plans are in terms of?
Yeah, it's for National Sand Sculpting. As we know, it's probably the premier event in Revere. It's a one-day license. It's the 10th anniversary. It's going to be a great event, and I think it's something the board should approve.
I have to be honest with you, it's one of the nicest groups we have in Revere, what they've done for that beach and keep it going, and the sand castles are just spectacular. I was able to go into that tent, and I think anybody that goes to the beach should go down and enjoy it. Go in that tent and see what goes on. Absolutely beautiful, and the hard work that's put into this it's amazing. It would be a pleasure to vote for this evening.
I appreciate it. I've been kind of like a reluctant board member because I'm a little busy, but I have to say the people I've been working with, and they've worked a lot harder than me, John Hamill, Rosette, all of them, they've worked so hard for so long on this, and it's going to be a great event. We just hired a new executive director, Shamanda. She's doing a terrific job. The entire board, the former Mayor Tommy Ambrosino, there's so many people. I don't want to slight anybody. There's so much work that goes into this, but it's worth it just to see what happens at the end.
Will we be having a fire show this year? Are they
I
going to continue
believe we're
with
going to have
that?
a fire show. I think it's going to be
Absolutely.
bigger and better than ever.
Absolutely wonderful. I hope the people of Revere take advantage
I
of
just
it.
hope we just have to pray for good weather, that's all. And then
We'll get it.
Not like today.
I have no other questions.
Thank you.
No questions, John.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second the motion.
All in favor, say
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Joan, good luck.
Late application submitted for 2013 renewal is Class 2 license from Metropolitan Acceptance Corp. Is there a motion on the table?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'm going to second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Communication dated 5/23/13 from the ABCC regarding the approval of China Roma's new all-alcohol restaurant license. July 19th. Our next meeting will be Wednesday, July 19th. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.